You are listening to the Free Spirit Astrology Podcast. Hello and welcome to the Free Spirit Astrology Podcast with your host, Brandy Williams. Let me tell y'all something. This Mercury retrograde ain't gonna get me because y'all gonna get this podcast by any means necessary. I've recorded this podcast by 3 times already, but yet here I am again. I hope my audio is okay because last week it was crazy. My other computer died on me, so I have to record on this small laptop, and the audio is, anyways. It's kind of hard to believe we are still in Pisces season for a few more days because we are deep into this Aries energy already. Venus is retrograde in Aries, Mercury is retrograde in Aries, gifting us with a review, a reinvestment, a rekindling of something, opportunity to relax. I have heard from some of my friends that the engines are revving, but this is still a time to go slow because whatever it is we want to create is being reformed right now, and we don't have all of the information yet. We are still in this eclipse energy, so things are unraveling, new endings, new beginnings. Mercury retrograde will be talking to many of these outer planets in the Aries and Pisces parts of our charts and our lives. And so this information is being revealed. The next step is being revealed in a rollout process. And if we bypass that divine direction and guidance, we're going to face some setbacks and some letdowns, and we're going to have to redo some things. And so the slowdown is a gift. It's not an inconvenience. It is realigning us on the correct path. During this next 18 months, we are going to be in the Pisces Virgo axis with these eclipses because that's where the nodes of the moon are. And so we will constantly come in contact with the need to release control and to trust the process, to connect to intuition, and to walk away from micromanaging the calling. So let's see what's going down this week in the astrological streets. Very big week for the sun. Beginning Monday today, March 17th, the sun in Pisces conjuncts the North Node that is also in Pisces. This is giving us a nudge to pay attention to what's changing. Something is shifting. We're shifting. Those themes from the eclipse are going to be front and center and kind of amplified once again this week. Those eclipse energies tend to last 6 months after. And so with that North Node Sun conjunction, these eclipse themes could be intensified. What is it that we need to let go of, that we're still trying to control, and we can't control it? And no matter how many times we bump up against it, we may find it difficult to comprehend that we can't control this. You got to let it go. And that may feel good to some of us because holding on to what's not meant to grasp can feel very painful. I'm getting the image of holding on very tightly to a rope that's burning our hands. Like, can we let that go? And then when we take our minds to that Pisces part of life, I think in Pisces is asking us to surrender and to trust what doesn't seem solid or clear, the non-linear, the things that's just floating in the ocean. And we have these pieces, but they're not really coming together. Just trust that something else is helping us and collaborating with us to make that dream happen, make that vision become. There's always a collaboration happening between us and the divine. It's never just all of us. It's never just all of the divine. You take 2 steps, God takes 2 steps. Then Wednesday, March 19th, the sun will go on to conjunct Neptune in Pisces at the 29th degree. This is the final degree of the zodiac. This is the wisest degree of the zodiac. This is the point where we come and we review all that's taken place up until now. This is the final quest with the sun conjuncting Neptune that's leading to a lot of new endings and a lot of new beginnings. We will come face to face with the divine realm. It can show up through dreams and being in church and receiving the word, in astrology, even listening to this podcast episode. There is something we are contending with or really coming into an understanding of that can feel like a spark of energy or a flood of information or just a sensation that feels overwhelming to the mind and the nervous system. And if that's the case, you want to let yourself step away and take a day nap or listen to some healing music or anything that brings the energy down a few notches so that you can get back to baseline with yourself, because this is an experience with the spiritual realm, and that's very overwhelming to the senses, that conjunction with the sun and Neptune. And so if we can kind of go into our mind's eye and imagine that we're at the end of the journey, maybe we're on one of these movies like Indiana Jones and we're on this quest, and we've come to this part of the journey where we are meeting some wise divine figure, and we can imagine that there's this portal opening up, this time portal, and it's spinning and it's swirling and it's blue and it's silver, and it's the only way through. And it's like, it's scary. It's very scary. It's like, no, I think I'm gonna go back. There is no back. The back is dematerializing. And so all we have is this way through, this walk through this portal, which the symbology is just amazing, because on the very next day, a star is literally born. The sun enters into the sign of Aries. That is happening at 12 o'clock a.m. Central Time. This is 0 degrees of Aries is the inception point. It is the first degree of the astrological new year, the first degree of the zodiac. It signifies the spring equinox in the northern hemisphere and the autumn equinox in the southern hemisphere. This is where there's equal day and equal night happening right here. And the sun is exalted in the sign of Aries at 19 degrees, but that's neither here nor there. It's exalted in Aries. So quite literally, a star is born. The sun contact with the spirit world the day before, being Neptune, was like a sign that I don't know if you've ever heard of something like, oh, when you transition, you have to meet your maker, or there's an Akashic record that you have to attend to, or your soul is being weighed and you get to choose a door to go through. I've heard many stories like that. And that's what that Sun Neptune conjunction felt like. And then we walk through this portal, and here we are into the sign of Aries, which always signifies the birth of a new cycle. This is where we are wanting to create something new. And there are going to be so many deaths and rebirths taking place, but this is a sign of being reborn. This is like that new year, new me energy. Some people don't really vibe with that in January because this is the real new year. And so we're going to be seeing new endings and new beginnings with this Aries energy. And the focus is going to be on ourselves and our own personal development and our personal journeys. So we are going to reflect, even though this is new, we're still reflecting on how we've been existing in life and how we've been existing in relationships, how we've been existing in the relationships to our own bodies and our own health and nutrition in our own minds, and how we've been doing our life's purpose so far. So many of us could experience a jolt of energy and enthusiasm to take the lead on something, to end something, or to start something completely new. We will have courage to stand up and fight for the things that we believe in, with that Aries energy being ruled by Mars, to stand in our power and our sovereignty and to reinvent life on our own terms. This is a year where we do want to stand for something, and we want to stand in our power and know what side of the line we stand on, because we're at a point where history is kind of repeating itself. Liberties are being threatened to be taken away from us. So we want to know where we stand. We want to know what we value so that we can know what we're standing up for. Then March 21st, Venus retrograde in Aries will make a sextile to Pluto in Aquarius. This is a harmonious conversation between Venus and Pluto. Venus is on her way to her own death and rebirth with her Kazemi to the sun, which we'll get into in a second. And Venus is realizing something, signifying that we are being given powerful insights of who we are evolving into, how our desires and values have changed and are changing. So this can be a session with a coach or a therapist or a wise person, one of the friends who really drops those gems and those pearls into your awareness. And this could have us realizing that the things that we thought we valued weren't really our passions or desires to begin with. It's what we thought would give us good results, recognition, and love, validation. So these are new realizations about relationships and the types of relationships that we chose to stay in from our own self-worth and our own value. And this is also about how we relate to any and everyone in our lives. This is going to gift us with the ability to pause and witness the relationships, the habits, the behaviors, the investments that fill us up and the ones that drain us. And so, as we go deeper into our personal development, we will begin to uncover these next steps. And that's going to really happen inside of doing our own shadow work, sitting with ourselves and observing ourselves and not, bypassing that. This is going to happen through prophetic dreams that are bringing us into these future timelines and to step into the shoes of our future selves. Then Saturday, March 22nd, the Sun in Aries will go on to conjunct Venus retrograde in Aries. This is Venus in her Kazemi. She's going into the heart of the Sun where she's going to die, and then she's going to be reborn from the power of the Sun. So for 2 weeks, Venus is going to be invisible in the sky because she's going to be hidden behind the light of the Sun, and she's going to emerge as the morning star. She's currently the evening star. If you see this big, beautiful ball of light that looks like a star, but it's not twinkling. That is Venus. So, with this new information from the recent conversation that Venus had with Pluto in Aquarius, there are going to be newer and clearer realizations of our evolved self worth, the behaviors and relationships that we want to be a part of, and the ones that we need to let go if we want to get to this next version of ourselves. This astrological new year is bringing in the soul tribes, the people that feel like a soft landing. This energetic new year is bringing healed self-worth, healed desires, amplifications of the things we want to see from a place of abundance and not a place of lack, so we could become a soft landing for others as well. Some of us are ending our energy vampire season. We tend to always think about other people as being energy vampires, but there's a season where you are also an energy vampire, and perhaps that season was just today, yesterday, and tomorrow that season is ending for you because you're realizing something new about yourself and you're healing and you're doing your work. So we may feel a renewed sense of enthusiasm and direction and a jolt of optimism to manifest something amazing, to be reborn, and to attract loving people, places, and life changing connections and opportunities from a space of abundance and magnetism. A new version of us is emerging, somebody who really surprises us to look in the mirror and see, because this is our rebirth. So from now until March 2029, Venus is creating this new version of herself, which quite literally represents us creating a new version of ourselves. I wonder if you can see that in you right now. Journal and take note of the changes that you are seeing, where you started, where you are now, where you feel like you're going. By 2029, you're going to see some amazing things that you probably didn't even know could be available for you, but they are, because why? You're in a collaboration with the divine. You don't have all the information yet. Finally, Sunday, March 23rd, the Sun in Aries will go into a sextile with Pluto in Aquarius. Another harmonious conversation with Pluto is happening this week. And this is helping us make a lot of these changes in our immediate environment. This is a time where we are going to want to spring clean, to declutter our spaces, declutter our lives, our social media, our friendship groups. We're going to be releasing a lot of unnecessary shit because we can't take that stuff with us. We can't be no bag lady going into the next version because there's no room for all of this stuff. And so this is going to be an opportunity for us to adopt these new powerful habits and practices to create more space, to create more abundance, and create more opportunities. So we're letting a lot of things go that no longer align with us, that no longer relate to us. We're letting go of a lot of habits and tendencies that don't look like what future self looks like, that doesn't feel like what she's on. We know we're on to something new. And that is all I have for this week, as if we needed any more. I think that was enough, right? So I just want to give a quick recap. Happy spring equinox for all of us in the northern hemisphere, and autumn equinox for all of my listeners in the southern hemisphere. The shift is here. We are energized and ready to start new ventures and come into a new way of being this Aries season. Just keep in mind, we are in a process of review. We are relaxing, and we want to continue to honor those retrograde energies by planning, making reassessments, and revising, but not necessarily taking massive action. We're in a plan and a process right now. So honor that slowdown. Look at those next steps internally. Look for the messages and the connection and collaboration from the divine, because that is going to be where that information is rolling out from. And let's still work on releasing the need to be perfect and to control things or prepare for setbacks and the need to do something over, which it's okay to be prepared to do that anyway, because sometimes learning through mistakes is the best way to do it, right? That is all I have for this week. So be well, be blessed, relax, and I will talk to you next Monday. Bye bye for now. You are listening to the Free Spirit Astrology Podcast.